Alright, let's all admit, alchemy is hard. Actually, that'd be the OChem class I got a C in last semester. But whatever. What I meant to say is that pretend is hard. And honestly, D&D is the best form of playing pretend I think that exists, and I have no shame in obsessing over it every single day. But alchemy in D&D is such a tough subject. I mean, other fantasy games can do it. Look at Skyrim. You're going around picking up every plant that's interactable. You don't even know if it's interactable until you just throw your cursor over it. Character tastes it, then you end up brewing some infinite XP and damage potions. Okay. So D&D, you can do that too, but the problem lies with the fact that unless you, the DM, have your master's in biology with a focus in botany and myceliology, I don't know, they aren't going to be able to tell the difference between one ingredient and another. You could have two different mushrooms and one could be poisonous and the other is really good tasting. So the reason why I specify botany in that small example right there is that generally traditional medicine in the real world is created via botanical elements, not normally animal elements, and a lot of that has to do with generally plants have such a different genealogy and things that they need to create to either survive or deter animals. They have those systems set up that just animals don't. Animals are predators. They have to be, to a certain degree. Predator on plants if they need to be. But, like I said, in the real world, medicine or potions are generally made using botanical elements. Now, of course, your DM could choose to make an alchemy table, as I have to integrate it into their D&D game. Shameless plug, I have it linked down in the description. It's on dmsguild.com. I think it's pretty good. Probably going to get an update soon. But firstly, you can't really do that because it's a lot of extra time for the DM. You have to be able to, as the DM, then determine what kind of useful fungus your player's halfling rogue might find in between a troll's toes and determine whether or not it's going to be poisonous or somehow helpful in some type of beneficial potion. You don't know. You'd have to write that out. That's a whole lot of extra stuff. Then you'd have to write what it looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like. That's a lot of extra work. And honestly, it's not like the DM's guide is much help in really supporting the alchemy playstyle with campaigns. And like, honestly, if you're planning on getting the DMG, just don't. You will be wasting your money unless you have some reason to collect all the books like I do. It's honestly feels criminal that WotC can sell you a book that says that it's going to help new DMs and have it actually be useless. I've been DMing for like 7 years and maybe pulled it out 8 times. I copied like 2 charts that are useful, but you can find those online. I mean, that's why D&D YouTube channels exist, is because the DM's guide is literal hot garbage. But back to the video though. How do you really implement an alchemy system into the game? Where you don't really have the mental capacity to really remember, okay, that fungus in between the troll's toes is beneficial, it smells like ass, it tastes kind of like it has the texture of like berries mixed with like fish scales. You're not going to remember all that crap while you're trying to run initiative and you're trying to take care of everything else in the dungeon. That's just so much extra work for you. So what I've found works best is throwing out realism entirely. Plants. What are plants? Okay. Your party just killed a troll. Cool. Trolls' hearts, you can say, cause their regenerative ability. That's the source of their regenerative ability. And you could then say, okay, those are used for healing potions. And maybe a troll's heart makes a superior healing potion, but maybe their adrenal gland makes a normal healing potion, or one of their kidneys. Something along those lines. Or maybe just a bit of their flesh. You don't know. It depends on how rare you want to make trolls. Or maybe you want to really delve deep into the fantasy components to justify potion creation. Maybe you can say that a Lich's Eyeball is used for True Sight potions. You as the DM have to decide what potions are most likely going to appear in your campaign and make a quick formula. And then as the campaign goes on, maybe insert it as something that's buyable or something that's in a witch's book. And your players can use that to then be able to make their own potions with alchemy tools, which are literally, I think, the most useless things in the game unless you actually use them as D&D 5e wants you to. And it takes like 2 hours to make a standard healing potion and costs like 10 gold pieces to make the healing potion. It's insane. It's really OP, but no one uses it because it's stupid. Anyways, getting back to the video. You have to decide what's going to be in that quick formula. Make it logically consistent, of course. No one likes the guy that says fairy dust makes you smell bad and leak goo. Fairy dust makes you fly. You fool. And honestly, the best part of all of it is that now that if you have a player that wants to really get into alchemy, that's something that they're delving into, whether they're a blood hunter, whether they're a wizard or a warlock, you have so much fuel for them now to go on quests outside the city, outside the town, to hunt that Medusa for an ingredient for that poison of petrification they've always wanted. So that is my recommendation, is go out, write on a piece of paper, and say, hey, X plus Y equals this type of potion. And then make it logically consistent. Do that for the most common potions you have, probably healing for sure. And then go ahead and make a potion of fly, make a potion of true sight. Whatever you think your players would want to do and make. And also what monsters you want to run. Because this is a great excuse for you to find a monster that you can have your party fight. But go out, write, and hunt my fellow players and DMs. And as always, have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching.